In this video, I'll provide a gamer analysis that follows a brief interview that I conducted with a self-described gamer. I was interested in his gaming habits and preferences. I will profile him here using Bartle's player types and Callois' patterns of play as a frame of reference. Let's meet him. Our gamer is Fonkelus. He is a 13-year-old boy who enjoys playing games with his friends. He began to play video games on a Wii console beginning at the age of 5. He mostly played Wii Sports mini games or Wii Play, and he enjoyed driving games like Monster Truck Races or Mario Kart. Then he moved on to Lego games that required a high degree of problem solving. When our gamer was 11 years old, he asked for an Xbox One. He explained that he preferred an Xbox to other gaming systems because more of his friends played it, as opposed to PlayStation or Nintendo. In this way, he could play online games with his friends from school. He prefers first-person shooter games, or any game where you can assume the persona of a character in a story, where you must work your way through a story, overcoming any obstacle that gets in the way. This includes a variety of massive multiplayer online role-play games or war games. Richard Bartle identified 4 major player types that emerged as online gaming gained popularity: achievers, explorers, socializers, and killers. Our player gets enjoyments from each of these domains. However, I noticed in our interview that achieving rewards in the game and accruing game items were a recurring theme. I would consider him an achiever above all. He puts equal emphasis on each category. However, I think that he is motivated first and foremost on advancing in the game, leveling up, and meeting the challenge presented. In the textbook, The Gamification of Learning and Instruction, Carl Kapp notes that achievers' quote, primary enjoyment is in the challenge. These players give themselves game-related goals and vigorously set out to achieve them, close quote. Our gamer is not so much concerned with achieving the highest experience level. He seeks to accumulate as many tools as possible within the game so that he has an advantage over other players. He need not be the person at the top of the leaderboard. He hopes to have the most coveted weapons in the game so that he has the upper hand over opponents. Now, explorers enjoy familiarizing themselves with the game environment, looking around for new things. Kapp adds that explorers like to find the limits of the game, seek out where the programming ends, and where the bugs exist in the game. Fonkelus also enjoys exploring, but mostly so that he has an advantage over other players and so that he can find surprises or secrets that others might have overlooked. Now, Fonkelus does like interacting with other players. Kapp says that players who are socializers, quote, enjoy empathizing with others, having engaging conversations, and helping other players achieve success, close quote. Now, Fonkelus does enjoy the social aspect, but mostly because working with others collaboratively helps him achieve a mission easier. Each member of his team has a unique talent to contribute toward achieving the goal. Now, killers like to disrupt the game, cause chaos, interfere with other players' gameplay, and our player is no exception. He sees other players as extraneous to his mission. But what he really focuses on is advancement in the game, not the mischievous interference with other players. So while he enjoys this aspect, I would not say that that's his main focus. People enjoy playing games for a variety of reasons. Roger Callois divided games into 4 different categories: agent, alia, mimicry, and elinx. Let's focus on agent for a minute because I think that applies to our player. This is the concept of competition within the game, win or lose situations with superior or inferior players. Our featured gamer here strives to win in head-to-head battles, which often occur in first-person shooter games. He's not pathological in his competitiveness, though. He accepts losses and uses these as learning opportunities. Now in Alia, this regards to chance, to randomness in the outcomes. There are no problem solving or critical thinking skills that are required. So our player doesn't see much point in these types of games. In fact, he calls these rage quit games because he has little control over what happens. Now, mimicry is about simulation. Cap describes this concept as, quote, the temporary acceptance of an imaginary universe, close quote. Now here, these are teenage boys who are living in these battle simulations, very exciting and very dangerous. Most parents try to keep their children out of dangerous situations. So of course, a teenage boy would love the role play situation in these first-person shooter games. And finally, E-links. This is the state of disorder or dizziness. Now, in these types of games, players can move forward and backward, side to side, but they can also move their head up and down, looking at the sky or the ground. The player is surrounded by touchable objects in the colorful game world, complete with the sounds of the game environment. So in battles, the urgency of movement and the intensity of the sounds could totally be described as chaotic or dizzying. Cap describes E-links as the, quote, pursuit of vertigo, unquote, or the destruction of, quote, the stability of perception, end quote. I hope you've enjoyed this snapshot of a gamer who enjoys achieving, who loves games that are competitive in a simulation. Our citations come from the book Gamification of Learning and Instruction, and our art was generously contributed by Aaron Drake of Converse College.